True freshman cornerback Kade Phillips had his first career start against Arkansas for Texas on Saturday. He finished with 4 tackles, 2 pass breakups. Pretty good stat sheet game. I think watching the actual film, he played even better than the box score would lead you to believe. But he was a 5-star recruit, was committed to LSU for a while, ended up flipping to Texas on signing day, if I remember right. We're going to watch some of the good plays that he had against Arkansas. And there's one play or 2 plays that we're going to talk about him getting better at going forward. But the reason why Kade Phillips was a 5-star, the reason why this dude was so coveted by every program in America is because of that athletic profile. That's why these dudes are 5-stars in high school. You know, the game after that is, do they develop into good cornerbacks? But all these dudes are going to be good athletes. And that's what we saw in this first play here. Just how good the hip fluidity is, that change of direction, the way that he can just kind of match the wide receivers' routes. We see that on this play, and we'll see that throughout this entire game. This next one here, you take a look at this fade route, just how fast he is to be able to stay in step. And what I was really impressed by Kade Phillips, something that usually we'll talk about true freshman cornerbacks struggling with, is the tackling. And this dude, Mike Washington, number 4 for Arkansas, I mean, you can take a look at him in the backfield right now. That's a big football player, 6'2", 222 pounds he's listed at. He's having a really good season for Arkansas. He had a pretty good game against Texas. Guy that's going to be in the NFL next year, in my opinion. And this was a really good tackle by Kade Phillips on this first one here, just kind of getting the shoulder on him. You know, that's how you tackle a bigger dude. But this next one, we're first going to talk about that athleticism and the recognition. He sees I think this is the tackle in space or the guard in space. When you see number 76 out in space, you know he's not running a route, right? You know there's a screen coming. The running back's going to be behind him. So first that recognition happens really fast, and then that explosiveness. You know, the reason why he was a 5-star is because he can just crash downhill like this. And just how fast, how explosive he is, and then just the way that he can wrap up on a much bigger football player. You know, a much bigger football player than he is right now. The running back, Mike Washington, this is like a 5th-year senior, if I remember right. Dude's been in the weight room, in a college football weight room for 5 years. We saw how big he was. This is really impressive stuff by Kade Phillips. First, the athleticism getting there. We know he has that from the high school film. Get really impressed by the tackling technique on a much bigger football player than him. And this is another NFL football player, you know, Omega Blake, a guy that's going to be drafted. And he gives up the reception on this one to the receiver, but I still think this is a good play by Kade Phillips. I'm not really sure what else you could ask him to do on this. He's all over this route. See that change of direction. Arm length, almost got there, but then on this time. One thing that we're going to see on this next play that I think we want to see a bit more consistency with is just that physicality and press. You know, Mansour Delane, I've watched a lot of him at LSU. He does such a good job of this. Just right here, this is a great job by Kade Phillips, just punching him as soon as he runs to his outside. This is a really good job getting his head around, too, to not get a PI. But, you know, this route was never there because of how physical Kade Phillips was at the top right there. And then got his head around, made a play on the ball. And this next one, to me, is the best play on the entire highlight tape. You know, a lot of times these, like, triple moves, these fourth moves downfield when the quarterback breaks contain, these are so hard for cornerbacks to stay on top of. But you can see Kade Phillips just has that change of direction ability, just sticks with number 3 the entire time. This ends up being a touchdown. The quarterback rolls out to the other side of the football field and scores. But it's a good play on this one. Also, just crashing on. We saw that explosiveness before. Not a good ball by the quarterback, but if it was a good ball, Kade Phillips is in a good position to make a play on that. And this is the only play I think where we're going to talk about Kade Phillips getting a lot better at going forward. You know, this is the only quote-unquote negative play, but I look at this and I'm like, he's in a position the entire time. It's a lot easier to try to teach a cornerback, you know, just don't shove him at the end here. He gets called for a PI, and it was really unnecessary, you know. I just think that going forward, this is an easy thing to watch. You know, this is probably fixed in real time. What is it, Monday? Texas probably watched film today. They're probably watching film right now, and you just tell, you know, Kade Phillips, you're in a good position the entire time. You just don't need to shove him. It's a lot easier to drill that into a cornerback's head than it is everything else, right? He did everything else well. It's not one of those PIs where you get beat and you just tackle the receiver because you got nothing else to do. You know, that's just not what happened. He was just in a position the entire time. Just got a little too excited at the top of the route. This is a true freshman cornerback, you know. Like I said, it's probably fixed in real time. But, yeah, great game for Kade Phillips. Really impressive starting debut. He's played a lot for Texas this season, but his first time in a starting capacity. And I thought he looked really good. But if you want a place to store all your draft evaluations, we got Kade Phillips on we-draft.com. Also got Colin Simmons. We got a lot of the underclassmen. And then, of course, the guys that are going to get drafted this upcoming draft. But please check that website out. Thanks for watching.